Hey guys, here's the gear for today. Stepping away from the Nasset Marathon blade, and we're going to use this Christopher Bradley razor from Karve. It's a AA open comb base plate. Gladius handle, 3¼ inches, I think. This is the same brush as last time, the Maggard razors, probably the 24mm Plisson-type. Excuse me, which is a synthetic. I'm putting them in water. You don't need to soak them necessarily, but just to make sure we have plenty of water, because that's the problem we had last time. That little knot doesn't hold a lot of water. I couldn't hold back. I wanted to use the Barrister & Mann Smoking Bishop, the Omnibus base, just like I did last time, because its combo with this brush and the Slurry Lather method weren't all that great. It worked, but I was hoping I can get it to be better. But I couldn't help it. I've been looking at this Highland soap base here, the Black Watch from Seaforth, aka Spearhead, and I love the scent of the soap. I got the cologne, the EDT for Highland, for Black Watch, and it had some notes in there that were more ladylike. And so even though I liked the way it dried down, I didn't like the way it smelled until then. And so I don't, the cologne isn't for me. The fragrance isn't for me, but I like this soap a lot. At least pretty sure I did the first time I tried it. I think I've just tried it once. Let's try it again. Get my face wet. And how many swirls should we load? All right, we'll take the brush up out of the water. I can feel the weight. Feels pretty good. Let's just see if we can keep that much water in it. Let's just kind of load until it gets really kind of foamy and just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty wet and foamy. Let's just try that. It didn't get foamy enough to overflow, but this is not a big knot. So, might be part of it. Letting the soap drain into my lather bowl here. Just using it just to kind of let the brush rest between passes. And I can go right to the face. Now that looks kind of like a slurry lather. Yesterday's did not look like this. Kind of like the stiff Badger brushes. It's flicking a little bit of water all the way around everywhere. And there we go. It doesn't quite come together on my face to kind of get the slurry everywhere until just now. Not quite as fast as the boar brushes do. But you can save time with this one because you don't have to soak it as long as you do with the boar. And you don't have to clean it for as long afterwards. So maybe it's kind of give and take there. Astra Platinum is what I'm going to be using. Probably just a couple of uses on it. My wet hands, I forgot to take care of the blade before I got them wet. Should be a AA open comb. Yep, just confirming. Superior Platinum. This is one of those great budget blades for me that really works, and it's hard to find a razor it doesn't work in. I haven't used my Karve in a while, so when I decided not to use the Nasset today because of a couple days growth on my face, thought it's a good time to bring the Karve in now. The AA is their lowest, their mildest base plate, and so it's not going to immediately just super cleanly, take care of all this stubble. And so you can definitely see how I'm repeating in my strokes in certain areas. A little water. I love the Spearhead base that is the normal non-Highland base. Highland seems to be heading toward the trend these days of adding in oils and butters, or something to help with moisturization, and I just don't need that. And sometimes I find that gets in the way of slickness, kind of a pure slickness. Obviously, oils and butters provide a certain kind of slickness by definition, but often it's not the kind that I prefer. And so I favor those soaps that aren't straying too far toward, they're kind of right in the medium line between skin hydration, skin moisturization post-shave, and the kind of pure water-based slickness of something like maybe a fine accoutrements. Classic puck or tobacco or something like that. Declaration Grooming is one of those that their milk steak base is kind of like this, and I like it well, but it's not exactly the kind of slickness that I prefer, so I don't use it as much as others. And yeah, that was really a fast, smooth pass because with the duplicate work that I did on that first pass, I didn't really have as much stubble as you might think. So that's just a great example of that double A. It's mild, but I pretty much could walk away right now, I'm pretty sure. So I'm dabbing just to pick up some of the water that, was dripped in here. But that's all I'm doing. So right now we've got a good slurry lather with this, tiny little synthetic brush. Now, I'm having to kind of press down really hard to keep it in splay. And that's kind of one of the problems I don't like about these kinds of brushes. All that springy backbone. But it's working. So it looks like the problem I had with it in the previous shave was simply not having enough water in it. Maybe not loading enough. Maybe I didn't do that. This loading until it kind of froths up. Wouldn't it be neat if that was a reliable indicator? Because then whether it is a soap that's been on your shelf for a while, or whether it's one you used last week, maybe that's a good gauge, right? That'd be nice. I love it when landmarks are kind of natural like that and intuitive. Now, yeah, so this is the third pass, and we definitely have more of a mature looking lather. However, it's still, as usual with most of the slurry shaves, it's still very hydrated. So Highland is doing great with that, with this method. And we're just picking up stragglers. Great scent. I love how strong it is. Light touch as always. All done. The scent here is terrific. The kind of cloud around me here, you can tell this is like a 7 out of 10, and you can tell it's not going to go away anytime soon, which is really cool. It makes me think actually that This is a great time to use something kind of easy going, like just a simple witch hazel toner. I brought these samples. I bought these sample pack from Saponificio Veracino, and these are 3 of the ones that you get. You get some more than that, but it's a post-shave product. But I don't want to trump on what I've got going right now because of this great soap. So let's look at the brush here, and that loading that I did. How much lather? How much lather's in there? Did I overload? Doesn't look like it. However, it does look like I have at least 1, maybe 2 passes of lather remaining. I'd say that's just fine. That's a good little margin just in case. So I'm going to have to try that froth method of just watching the froth. And maybe it only works with synthetic brushes. Maybe it works with all brushes. Let's see if we can find out. Man, that's a good smell. It's all around me here. So the slurry leather may be a fast method, but it didn't make me enjoy this particular kind of knot any better than I used to with the normal type bowl lathering method that I would normally make. But at least it didn't have those same issues with the concentrate and trying to hydrate a bunch of soap that was already on the brush. You know, we were coming at it from a water perspective at first, lots of water, and then letting the soap kind of come together with the water as the shave progressed. I did, have to keep it pressed. I had to keep it in splay like that because otherwise, see, it kind of wants to push you around. I think that's all. I think that's all for today's shave. Thank you so much for joining me with the Seaforth Black Watch in the Highland base. And that's a nice one. Now, am I going to take this little synthetic brush away from Highland and take it back to Barrister and Man Omnibus that I've been using the last couple days, and then will it go back to not working quite as well? Probably not. Probably not. If I start with as much water as I did this time, and I'll try that same loading based on froth appearance, we'll see what we get. Well, thanks for watching. I don't feel like I want to get rid of the smell that's around me, so I've got other balms and things like that, like Mountain Man from Sterling, but I want to stick with what I've got on my face. It's really nice. So, take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.